I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This one's wife. Humiliated. Snubbed again. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. That bastion of journalistic excellence, Hoot magazine, tells us that this one's wife now has a plot to win over the haters. Naturally, capitalizing on the view that anybody that doesn't agree with her must be a hater. That paranoid stance that she adopts as part of her narcissism, that if you dare to criticize anything she does, that's not legitimate, you're automatically labeled as a hater. No longer an actress, nor an official member of the royal family, this one's wife has spent the past few years trying to find her purpose, and as we've seen, with her seductive touch, everything that she goes near turns to shit. At first, she hoped that it would be her podcast Archetypes, and more recently, her new lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard Retirement Homes. But neither have quite hit the mark. It's a somewhat understatement. Now with Prince Harry, who visited the United Kingdom alone to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the Invictus Games, it's been a tricky few weeks for this one's wife. First, her bespoke jams, released for American Riviera Orchard Retirement Homes, received criticism, and then former Archetypes guest Sophie Trudeau denied the pair had ever actually been close. Never one to be beaten, though, i.e., driven by her need to nullify threats to control, this one's wife is hoping a UK release for Suits will boost her profile and win her back some fans. This demonstrates once again the level of delusion of this woman, that she believes that Suits is all about her. She was 6th on the call sheet. She actually didn't appear in it anywhere near as much as other characters, such as Harvey Specter, Donna, the younger lawyer whose name I forget because I've never really watched it, I've just seen clips from it. Is it Louis, the other lawyer? They were far more prominent than this one's wife, yet of course she behaves as if Suits was the vehicle that was designed for her, and that the entire world knew her because of Suits before she met Prince Harry, whereas we all know the only reason people know about her is as a consequence of the fact that she ensnared a dim-witted ginger prince. In a recent interview, Sophie Trudeau, 49, the ex-wife of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, was asked if she was close with this one's wife, 42, to which she responded, "I know her, but we haven't spent much time together." The embarrassing snub came after this one's wife had previously described Sophie as a dear friend during the Archetypes interview, detailing a perfect day they'd spent together and saying she'd gone to the former First Lady of Canada many times for advice over the years. It's evidently clear as a consequence of this particular disclosure that no such attendance ever occurred, but this is not a surprise when it comes to this one's wife. As I've explained to you recently, she, because of the way that her brain functions, because of its narcissism, believes that she will have gone to Sophie Trudeau on numerous occasions to seek advice, because that's what the narcissism is in effect telling her. She doesn't think to herself, I know I never went, but I'll say it anyway because it sounds good. No, she honestly believes it. It's as if, in a situation where somebody's mentioned Sophie Trudeau to her, and she's painted white, that her narcissism decides, okay, she needs to speak favourably about Sophie Trudeau. So what we'll now do is download a memory packet that tells her that she went to Sophie Trudeau on many occasions before to seek advice from her, that they're very close and that they had a perfect day together. Go. Beep. The narcissism presses the button, downloads that memory packet into this one's wife's memory, and she believes that's the case. And then she says to whoever she's talking to, oh yes, I sought advice from her on a number of occasions. We're very close. We had a perfect day together. And she says it and believes it because in her mind, in her world, it actually happened. Whereas it's evident from Sophie Trudeau that those instances didn't occur because they weren't that close. He goes on by telling us that these revelations caused this one's wife a good deal of anguish where they would do so because they're a threat to control. She was humiliated by Sophie's snub, especially when she publicly gushed about their friendship and praised Sophie for her support, an insider tells Heat. It was very much a signal for this one's wife that even though she thought they were in her corner and feeling the pressure to detach themselves from her in fear of having their name tarnished by the association. Well, it's quite clearly the case that many people do see a connection as tarnishing them by association. Although there are still several stars willing to align themselves with this one's wife, including actress Melissa McCarthy, see parts past him, Sophie is following in the footsteps of the Beckhams and Oprah Winfrey by distancing themselves from this one's wife. Our insider adds, this one's wife's now worried about who she's going to turn to, now worried about who's going to turn on her next. She fears that if Sophie is acting like she doesn't know her, it's not acting like she doesn't know her, she doesn't know her. Bigger names will be sure to follow suit, which is causing her a great deal of panic. Well, of course, it will be making her feel anxious because the prospect of people not supporting her amounts to a threat to control. This one's wife was riding on her royal currency and celebrity connections, but with both of these now waning, she's going to have to do something major to turn it around. But all, apparently, is not lost for this one's wife, despite the fact, of course, she circles the drain. She believes that a reminder of her acting talents could be the key to winning back some much-needed support in the United Kingdom. And what's she going to do? Start doling out Beverly Hill 90210 blowjobs as a reminder? The BBC has acquired all 9 seasons of Suits to air on iPlayer. And this one's wife is hoping that her character Rachel Zane, an ambitious feminist paralegal, will remind Brits that she had a successful career prior to becoming a member of the Royals. Yeah, good luck with that. Once again, if that is accurate, it shows the level of delusion. Oh, I've shat all over your royal family. I took the piss out of your queen with a curtsy. I made a mockery of the funeral of Prince Philip by arsing around with the wreath. I regularly suggested that Charles and the Princess of Wales are racists. I left it dangling in the air for a while that it could be any one of them apart from the Queen that was racist about my son. I've claimed that there are a heartless group of automatons that wouldn't essentially look out for me when I felt suicidal. I've suggested that they smeared me by reporting on me bullying people. But you know what? I've dumped all over the royal family, which has really outraged a lot of British people. But they'll forget about all of that, won't they, if they watch me in Suits? This perhaps demonstrates the ridiculousness of this woman in a nutshell. That she can treat people so badly, resulting in many British people thinking, who the fuck do you think you are to behave this way? And that she then wanders along and goes, but watch me in Suits and you'll love me. This is typical behaviour of the narcissist, compartmentalising by mentally writing off what has gone on in the past and acting as if nothing has happened and going, ta-da, it's me, and showing that sense of entitlement by believing that everybody will love her because, hey, look, it Suits, everybody. I was in Suits. That's what I'm good at. That's why you'll love me. Yeah? Yeah? You got to love me. You have to love me. When Suits, the article continues, started airing in Netflix in the United States, it was a huge reinvention for this one's wife, and the popularity of her character, coupled with the success of the show, reminded the American public of her talent. This is utter horseshit. She has no talent. The American public weren't reminded of her talent. That would assume that they knew that she was talented to begin with. Most people couldn't give a rat's ass about her. She's hoping that the show's airing in the United Kingdom will translate in the same way, and that this could be her chance to win the public back over. In other words, she's seen that Suits has been successful in the United States, even though that's got nothing really to do with her, but to do with the fact of the way that it's written, the characters in the show. But of course, her narcissism translates that as, that show's successful because of me. I'm the Duchess of Sussex. I'm a bananatarian. I'm hugely kind and empathic. And because loads of people know about me, they're evidently watching the programme because of me. And that's why it's so successful. So if I can be successful in relation to its rerun or showing in the United States, then that can be the same in the United Kingdom, and everybody will love me. Deluded. With both King Charles and Kate Middleton diagnosed with cancer earlier this year, Harry is hoping to heal past grievances with his family and spend more time in the United Kingdom. And naturally, he'd like his wife of 6 years and their 2 children to feel comfortable visiting too. But the Duke and Duchess of Sussex aren't merely relying on this one's wife's acting to boost their reputation. They've also had a major overhaul when it comes to their team. Then talks about Charlie Gibson being involved as the new UK-based Director of Communications, which I've talked about previously. The article ends with, this one's wife has been told she might need to do some backtracking if she's ever going to win the British public round. She's been advised she'd have to start showing a far softer, more genuine side. Impossible. She doesn't have that. As well as publicly praising the royals and showing sympathy for what they've been through. Well, she's not going to do that because they're painted black. This article, again, I leave it up to you to determine the veracity of its content, but if accurate, does demonstrate the deluded nature of the narcissist in thinking that she can shit all over the royal family and piss the British public off, and then come along and say, hey, Suits is running again. You all love me, don't you? Absolutely astonishing, but entirely commensurate with the behaviour of a narcissist. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.